Good morning, everyone. Or, not morning. Afternoon. Afternoon, everyone. Oh, man. That was muscle reflex. Hopefully everyone's doing pretty good here. Hopefully you've had a great day of trading. I thought my charts were broken for a minute. My data was all messed up. I had to reload Ninja, and I think we got everything going again, but... Real nice slide off today. Big slide to the downside. Huge objectives lower. The NASDAQ filling in. From the daily perspective, this is a pretty big blow off on the bottom. They're also filling in all of the other gaps that have been down there. Every objective that was down here is kind of done now. The important thing is how they close, because if we V-bottom out of this and it goes flying back up again, then, man, we could be dealing with a situation where we're putting in a massive false break low that's just looking to rotate higher again. So it could be a pretty wild ride here, depending on how it wants to play out. A little bit later than normal, so we won't have as much time, but still see if we can find something going on at the end of the day here. Hopefully everyone's had a great day of trading so far. What a drop in the market. Holy cow. Left a big chunk of open volume, too. A huge VVP at 11,550, as well as another kind of sub one at 11,525. So as far as unfinished business, there's a lot of unfinished business above that the market's still potentially looking to kind of fill in. Sellers may be trying to regain a little bit of emphasis here, but given the end of the day and the fact that it's reversed so aggressively off the lows, it's going to be a tough sell. That's a tough sell. It's there, but... Buyers still rotating back up. There's not really any weakness to back the sellers up here, which I think is the big problem for them. We do have some falling resistance, which might be coming in the way. Kind of right into it at the moment. Sellers putting a bit of pressure back down again. Kind of curious to see what they're able to do with this falling resistance, because if they start breaking above it, oh, right at the end of the bar, they close back down again. Buyers are going to be a little bit skittish on a candle like that. That's not what they wanted to see. Now, again, the sentiment is still on the bull side. I have a hard time wanting to short here, given the overall downside momentum, right? I mean, there's a reason today's down this much, right? So I don't necessarily want to fight against that. And we're coming into a massive zone of resistance. I mean, realistically, this whole area, for sellers at least, is a zone of resistance that they're going to be looking to try to get some continuation. So from a bigger perspective, it makes a lot more sense to be short biased right now. So being long biased up here while the market's showing some weakness, it's not that the buyers can't do it. It's just, man, if they fall flat on their face, it's going to be game over. And then we start seeing prices slide back down to 11,400. Maybe There's only 20 minutes left, but downside objectives at 300 potentially. Just all kind of depends on what they want to do here. A strong bear bar back down again would disqualify a lot of the bull sentiment. And a strong bull bar up might find some exploration from the buyers to try to kick this higher. They triggered in above the bull bar. I'm going to grab one here and see if we can get a continuation. Jeez. Oh, that was it. All right, up to 470s. I only grabbed one. It happened so fast. That was that dip back to just right under 65. There's a bit more volume stepping up to the plate. But, man, I don't know if you were fast enough. Otherwise, it's more likely that buyers are still looking for maybe that pullback. Again, just be careful up here, right? We know this is a big zone of resistance, and if we see big, heavy like that big, giant, heavy bear bar on a second sell at the peak, nope. No thanks. That's not the type of candle I want to see if I want to be a buyer, right? Again, it doesn't mean that buyers won't succeed, but why fight against the odds, you know? If the buyers are that strong, they'll come in again. A weak bear bar here would make it a lot harder for shorts. Let's see what happens if they dip down into 67.50, because that's the shorts break-even point. Shorts are underwater a little bit here. See what they do with the break-even. That break-even point's going to be the big one. They got down to the bottom of the bear bar. They never triggered the break-even yet. It's been one tick behind. Buyers are trying to not let the sellers out at break-even, and there's a lot of time left on this candle. We might be gearing up for a little bit of a squeeze back to the top here. Let's see if they can get it. You see the buyers defending it? They're not letting it through that level. There they go. All right, so now they got the break even. Sellers are back into profitable territory, and if it goes back above break even, they're probably not going to hang out. Right? So seeing it come back, that's fine. But if they start closing above that break even point again, that's a big problem. See what they did right there? They broke through that level. They thought they were going to get juked. They didn't. They resold more at the same entry price. That ride down might be all that's left. Let's see what happens here for the bulls. It's a big zone of resistance that we're playing around with here. I'd love to see the sellers flush back down again, give some life back to them. Right now, the buyers still kind of own the short term. They're breaking back down again. Notice they did come back and they challenged it, but shorts only refreshed and pushed it back lower. There hasn't been any indication that that the shorts have gotten out yet. They played with them a little bit there, but they've been rewarded so far. See if they can keep it going or if the buyers are going to put tension back on. It's another case of falling resistance, just kind of more macro. A nice bull bar here might get buyers interested. That's re-challenging that break-even point after a flush down. Nice strong bull bar. Again, I have a really hard time wanting to be a bull here, but I'm very interested to see what the bulls are able to do. I might scalp along with them. But realistically, the big move is still pointed down right now. Although that V bottom's looking pretty vicious. Wow. Quick little flush down there. A weak bear bar or even a bull bar will show bullish content. No, no. That's not good enough. Bears pushing back down again. Nice slide. Bulls are giving up a lot on this. Remember, we're in a big zone of resistance up here. Kind of creating a little bit of a funky sort of wedge. And I think this wedge, given that it's the end of the day, is probably going to be the last pattern of the day, and it's probably going to be the decider on where this goes. Sellers have the market down 830 ticks. That's 1.78%. So the sellers win the day. But who's going to win this last push? How often do you go live? I try to go live. I try to go live typically every day if I can, if the markets are moving. But if the markets aren't moving, then it's just not really worth it. Right now, obviously, the volatility is incredibly high. So you can get away with it a bit more. But later on, like in the heart of summer, it might not be as often. But I would like to try to get on every day. Buyers back down to the low of the wedge. This is the last line in the sand. Buyers got to hold it here. Sellers are trying to push back. Man, what a fist fight. This is also kind of the first attempted break of the wedge. And the first attempted break of the wedge being down, that makes it a little bit awkward. Usually the first break is a fake. So seeing the first break down when I'm looking to go short, I mean, it's okay if they follow through and they've got some really good pressure. Now we've got the 5-minute EMA. We've got all that wicking on 74 and 73 and the open to 72. There's a lot of support here. If they can break through, then we've got a shot. That would be the zone of resistance. And now the zone of support, if buyers are going to hold it, is not too far away. Let's see what kind of support comes in on this initial bounce. Or if we can get this to back up on itself a little bit. Weak bull bar. This really looks like a break-even run for buyers to come slamming back in. I know I want to go short, and we're coming into a short area, but man alive, that V-bottom and this rally to the upside, seeing that all of that weakness, and now all of a sudden just miraculously all this bear volume shows up, I don't know. It seems a little bit sus. Not so sure about this. Bulls might have a hidden card up their sleeve on this. They've got 11 minutes left. This is when we start going into the end of the day. This is when the fun kicks in. Initial move into support has found buyers. We had a big wick on that previous candle and a failure to close inside of it. Now the market's trying to close in. This is a support zone that buyers need to hold if they're going to try to kick the market up. Got 20 seconds until the last 10. Usually a bit of volume starts coming in. This 5-minute bar to the downside's bonkers. This thing's going to be either a massive start to a huge bear leg or a big washout. Inside a big zone of support, sellers still definitely dominant on the trend coming into the last 10. This is when things start getting really whippy. Bar 76 looks like a big washout right now. See if the bulls want to come in underneath that previous bull bar for a secondary bounce. Or if sellers can ramp up towards the 450s, there'll be some shorts there looking to push back. So shorts around the 450s or buyers underneath the previous bull bar. I don't want a very strong bear bar here. It's like the NASDAQ heard me when I said that. That's a moderately strong bear bar. That makes it a little harder. Went one tick underneath that bear bar and then immediately shot up. I'm going to look to see if I can grab a little bit of a pullback on this for a continuation leg to the upside. I really like that bullishness on that quick snap. See if we can get a break above the 40s. First objectives right inside there. Nice little pop. Big question is, can they keep it going? Next objective is going to be the moving average. And if it pulls back too much, I don't really want it to lose the 40s. It's right there. It's right there. Don't. Nope, out. It lost it. All right, well, I gave it a crack at that nice little bounce there. Again, we're in a zone of support. I have a hard time not wanting to buy it. It's just, eesh. After the sellers put in such a massive bear bar on 76 and knowing that we only have a few minutes left, it's a tough one. Nice little scalpers bounce, though, which realistically is all you kind of expect. If we get a little more follow-through to the upside, then there's a good chance we can keep going, because sellers are definitely stuck. Sellers who sold below that last bear bar, yikes. One tick and they got dumped on. Bulls might, I mean, it depends on how many contracts you have. Bulls might still try to make this go up towards the moving average. I'd like to see a little bit of a flush back. You can tell every time it starts creeping above the highs again, it backs off. There's a lot of buyers who are taking profit, not sure if this is going to be that huge reversal bounce off 76 into 77. Big bull bar to the upside is a great sign for the bulls. I'm going to look to see if I can pick some up on the bid here. Looking for a break back above the 50s, but if it can't start going sooner than later, knowing that we're dealing with the end of the day, it might want to catch a big whip back to the downside. So I'm not interested in putting too much risk on the table, but quick little flushes like that I'm interested in. I'm going to look to lighten the load just a little bit here, because this bar is starting to equalize, and it's equaling out that same bull bar. That's not great. I've got to see some continuation or something that adds to the bull's case. I'll hang on to a long, but I'm not going to hold on to the full thing anymore. That bear bar was almost an equal move down as it was up. That's a problem. We're still underneath the moving average. Bulls still have a reason to believe it, but I want to see another attempt from the bears before I'm going to buy any more. We have support behind us. Kind of wind in the sails. Upside objective, if it does want to creep higher, is back into the 55s. That's fine. Remember, shorts will start trying to push when it pierces above the 50s, so shorter term objectives might, I mean, that's a really nice bull bar. All right, I'm going to jump out there. Not really it just got a little bit sloppy. I want to see if they're going to pull back. I want a better pullback. That's a nice bull bar, but I need, again, we're getting too close to that resistance end of day. I got to see a little bit something more. I would love to see a flush back down for buyers to pick up. A flush back down sub previous bull bar, so what, like 42s? Yeah, got out a little bit too soon. I really thought they were going to pull back a little sharper than that, but end of day rallying going on. Nice strong bull bar. Might find some continuation buyers here. Breakout buyers starting to step up. Be careful. Remember what time it is. 5 minutes until 4. This is when things start going crazy. At 58, that's when things get really interesting. Third really strong bull bar is going to add a lot of context for the buyers. See if you can get a dip underneath 70s. I'm going to grab one long here just to make sure that I'm in, but I would like to buy a pullback. A break above 75s. Keep going. Keep going above the 75s. Kind of, sort of. Ooh, yeah. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a dip. I'm going to start picking up a few on this pullback, looking at it as a washout for an attempt back to the upside. There we go. Beautiful rally back to the highs. Break above that 75. That level is still kind of a pain, but if they can pop, we could get a nice rally towards 80. Break the 75s and we can get it going. Nice bull bar. Look at the bull pressure, still pinning it to the highs. First target's off. A little bit shallow. See if they can get some continuation up to the 80s. Up towards the 80s. Come on. Up towards the 80s. Maybe. All right, I'm out. You got to be kidding me. You rotten pecker. All right. Golly, man. Does it ever fail or what? Hit the exit. Go. It's like the NASDAQ reads my mind sometimes. Just a couple seconds too late. All right, well, the bulls definitely won the fight. Again, that just seemed too good to be true. Buyers, swing buyers, everybody holding for a break-even run for the sellers, and they rallied it all the way. Got a little bit chopped up there in that bull zone, but I think we kept the risk off and played it pretty well. I did exit kind of early on that bear bar. In hindsight, maybe should have put a stop underneath the bear bar just to see if I could hold on to it a little bit more, but everything else worked out pretty straightforward. So nice little washout. I wish I bought more on that, but oh well. C'est la vie. Short little afternoon for me. Came in a little bit late and going to have to duck out for a few calls that I have to do. So hopefully you guys had a fantastic day today. Hopefully you had a great trading day. And if you didn't, right, if you had some problems or you had some mistakes, learn from those mistakes. Use them as opportunities to get better. Hopefully, though, you will have a great day one way or another, whether you're learning from mistakes or there's money in the bank account, one or the other. Enjoy, though. Rest up. Hopefully you learned something, and have a great one. We'll see you all tomorrow, all right? Thanks.